All right. So you said it's a newish Lupe Fiasco song because I am a huge fan of Lupe Fiasco's. And I'll tell you more about it shortly after the song. I also just met him.
These precious things, all these things that we love, all these precious things, how they turn, all these precious things, all these things that we love, all these precious things, how they turn on me.
Never bite the hands that feed. But when those same hands grab the gats and up the sleeves, they got the traps and apparatus for your greed. They catch you lacking, wrap around your hatch and squeeze. I swear my hands were pure, I gave them manicures. Became my adversaries, became my saboteurs. I put carrots on them, just like rabbit laws. My middle finger's like, fuck this nigga, what happened to us? Used to be clapping for us, thumbs up and then snapping poets. Now they be dapping foes and grabbing more it. And they know that I don't drink, at least I don't think. I asked for peace signs, they gave me Leon Spinks. I asked for okays, I got up yours and go aways. Shoe gestures and throat slices, the motions made. Give me a sign when we can talk through a plan. But my hands was like, fam, you can talk to the hand. Damn.
These precious things, all these things that we love, all these precious things, how they turn, all these precious things, all these things that we love, all these precious things, how they turn on me.
Who put the arms in arms? I put arms in palms. We was hand to hand, all state. Pinky speaker, thumb receiver, how we used to call make. All shakes, now it's fingers crossed over small stakes. No taller than the crawl space. Give scissors to my paper. We not on the same page. We was back catching picture. Now you don't even wave. We used to throw the shocker Honolulu from the stage. Now you just wanna throw hands and technicals on my plays. Goddamn.
A little bit of baseball, a little bit of maybe mainly baseball analogies.
All these precious things, how they turn, all these precious things, all these things that we love, all these precious things, how they turn.
It's like you could've did more to try and keep us out them handcuffs. It's like we only matter when fans is putting their hands up. You got popular, treated us like the Yakuza. You was vampire hunter D, now you Alucard. See that's the thing, cause we was praying for you. Air guitar and playing for you. You turned a deaf ear to what we was saying to you. We was here, can't go back to before. The problem is, you don't use us to write the raps anymore.
Oh, that's actually very interesting that he just said that. For so many reasons we're gonna get into after the song. Wow, that's crazy. Man, interesting. And I should have brought out a little notepad first. It would have been my first like rap one that I was taking notes, and I should have done that. Dang, we'll do that. We'll do that in the future. Um, so my goodness. So first, I'll just go ahead and start with the song, and then I'll get into like the backstory of Lupe, Fiasco, and myself. Um, and so here we go. Very, very interesting. Just like you just said, Infinite Tech, the is very thematic. There is a very visual, you know, double meaning to everything. Very a lot of entendres are happening throughout this entire song. I remember in the beginning he was talking about his hand, and one of the lines that really stuck out to me is when he said something like, "I used to use the middle finger, but now it's kind of like turned on him in some ways," or something like that. And what I was getting from that is that he used to maybe have more of an edge, and then he lost that in the mix of whatever things were happening. And then he went into what sounded like a lot of baseball references, but he also was still talking about the hands. He said, you know, something like the wave, and he didn't wave. And what I was picturing is how I think he mentioned pitcher and catcher, and they make hand signals with each other while they're in the middle of baseball. And so I'm guessing he didn't get the signal from the pitcher who, I mean, from the catcher who, I found this out somewhat recently in my life, that the catcher gives the signal to the pitcher to let him know how he should throw the ball to him, which is really interesting to me because I kind of thought the pitcher would be like the quarterback, but it's kind of like the catcher's the quarterback on a lot of teams. So, okay, so he mentioned wave, and so that was the hand too. And then we get deeper into the song and toward the end, and he said something like about his fingers kind of tying it all together with this, you know, hand motif throughout. And then he said the fingers, and then he says, what's crazy is we don't even use those to write raps anymore. And how that really messed me up is that Lupe came under a lot of heavy criticism because he has collaborated with Google in order to train up their AIs to be able to do music. And so he was a big part of helping these technical systems to be able to kind of maybe replace us. And so, you know, and he's been teaching at, I think, Harvard for quite a while, teaching rapping, and it's giving him being outside of the community, which is wild because it's Lupe Fiasco. And so now I'm gonna go a little bit deeper into like my background and knowing about him. And I do this with any new artist that I have never reacted to on the channel. I'll just talk about, you know, my background if I have any with the artist or anything like that. Since I've been in this thing so long, I have a couple of overlaps. And Lupe is one of my, it's one of the craziest ones for me. And so I'll start I'm like, well, I'll start most recently to tie it all together. No. I'll start from the beginning and then I'll tell you how it all comes together. So I was managing a hip hop group called Influential, and they then became Cooley High, and Cooley High discovered Rhapsody, and so I was doing marketing for them. So I was always around, like managing and doing all of these different things. Welcome in here, y'all. Thank y'all for those daily highs, by the way. And so, part of it is back in my day, while I was managing them and doing marketing and things like that, they invited me to go see Lupe Fiasco. This is a very long time ago. This is around 2007. Okay, so this is nearly 20 years ago. They invited me to go see him. I had never heard of him before at the time. And it might have been '06. It's '06 or '07, something between '05 and '07. And I hadn't heard of him before. And they were like, oh, we're going to go see him perform at Duke University. And so I drove up to Duke University, And on the way there, I listened to his album Food and Liquor because that was, I think, his most recent thing coming out. And I was just like, okay, well, if I'm going to see someone in concert for free, I might as well have heard their art before. That felt like a prerequisite. So I listened to the album like one time through, like on the way to Duke University, and it was okay. I was just like, okay, just one time through right before the show. It didn't really do anything for me. It was whatever. But it wasn't until we were inside that concert that everything changed. He, and I guess this is also the beginning of him wanting to be a professor, even. He practically taught us a class on his own lyrics in the auditorium at Duke University. He started talking about the different songs and he started breaking the songs down on the stage in the auditorium. And he started to break down not Food and Liquor, but American Terrorist. Excuse me. He was breaking down American Terrorist. And if you don't know American Terrorist, oh my goodness, one of my favorite songs of his is extremely political, extremely woke. One of the first really woke songs by a modern artist to me, that I really knew about. And it affected me so much. And that day, I became one of his biggest fans when he broke down those lyrics. Because so the problem was when I heard it, I didn't take in everything that I was hearing and, understanding all the lyrics. And then for him to break them down live, I'm like, oh my gosh, he's legitimately talking about something. I was a songwriter as well. And it messed me up how important and how good those lyrics were. And so then, we fast forward. I realized personally, I kind of stopped listening to him a little bit because the thing that I was so attached and attracted to is how political, how sharp he was with his tongue in speaking out against injustice and what was wrong with the world and things like that. To fast forward, I felt like he kind of lost that edge a little bit. And so I, also wasn't listening to a ton of music at that time. I had moved to Los Angeles and just was kind of doing a whole lot of other things, working in the industry a little bit differently than I had been for a while, listening to a little bit less music for many different reasons. And it's funny, I'm working in the music industry, listening to less music. Yeah, you go through phases of different things at different times, especially as an artist. And so then I open up a music venue. I'm the first employee at this, through this iconic music, live music group. I'm like Fat Keys. I don't know if you've heard about, Spaceland Presents. And so you said hip hop was in College is Deep. Real quick on that, Fat Keys, yes, it was. And I found that out while I was managing that band, and I was collaborating with radio people. And there's this whole network of college radio DJs, and you can get the list, by the way. You can get the list, and the list will tell you how to contact every college radio station. And that's how a lot of hip hop groups get put on that circuit. So I was in that situation too. That was a side note. Okay, then fast forward to opening the music venue, Fat Keys. So Spaceland Presents, they're a really iconic group. They have Echo, Plex, and the venue I helped open was the Regent Theater. Regent Theater is now purchased by Live Nation. So he did a show there. This was about 2000, I want to say 2014. I'm seeing him for the second time. What is that, like 7 years later or so? And no one was really at the concert, by the way. It might have been 100 people there, and the venue but held about 1,200 standing people in it. And it was a really cool venue too. but it was like 100 people, you know. And I was just like, man, I guess I'm not the only one that kind of took a step back from his art. Because it felt like he had gotten a little bit more commercial and that he wasn't really, you know, who he used to be. And I think it affected a lot of people. Fast forward again. So first heard him '07, heard him again in like 2014 ish. Uh, and then I actually met him um, about 3 years ago at this point. Um, and it's crazy. Y'all. So I mentioned before that he was partnering with Google and their AI to like help it to make music. Crazy story. Google actually flew me out to Mountain View, California to their yearly conference because I'm also a software engineer. And so, as a software engineer, they wanted me to go up there. They were doing like some outreach and things and wanted some people to go up there. All expenses paid. It was really nice. I go up there and I'm walking around and I run into Lupe Fiasco at the Google I/O conference. And I'm just like, oh my goodness, nice to meet you. Um, and we talked about some of our like mutual people that we know in the industry, and it was really really cool. The full circle. And we took a picture, by the way. There's a picture of us on. I'm like, oh, hold on. Actually, I can show y'all the picture. Let me see. It's on Twitter.com. Oh, dang, I gotta log in on my other account. So the thing is about how this is all full circle, though. He with doing the AI stuff, that last one of the last lines he said in that song was, "It's crazy because these hands aren't even writing these songs." And that's why it tripped me out because I'm like, wait, he and I were at the biggest AI conference maybe in modern history. That was the conference where it was everything AI. It was all AI, everything. And so that's just kind of ironic, but I have hope. I have hope, y'all, that um he's saying it because maybe he's pulling back a little bit from it, you know? This is funny. So I went to the wrong account. This is my like official Erica Thompson account. And I put in Lupe Fiasco, but I guess it's on my like streamer account. I'm like, hey, have you heard of Lupe Fiasco in 2010? Who was I talking to? I guess it's some message that might have been deleted. The person might have deleted their account. Okay, so let me go to my other account. I'm really hopeful because it also sounded like maybe he realizes some of the decisions he's made. What? Some of the decisions he's made are not quite what he should have. And I'm just hopeful that he's on the way back. Hey, oh, there we are. So this is me and Lupe at the Google I/O conference. I think was it 3 years ago? It should tell me. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, 2024. Oh, this is only 2 years ago. I was just there. That's crazy. I said, and I ran into Lupe Fiasco. So many memories from first becoming a fan during a Duke University show where he broke down the lyrics of Food and Liquor. Oh, I meant to say, well, he did break down the lyrics, but American Terrorist was the more the one. So helping open a venue he performed at over a decade later in LA. Oh, not over a decade. Okay, now my timeline is weird. No, it wouldn't be a decade later. It would be a decade previously. Yeah, it was about 7 years. later. I'm making myself way older than I am, y'all. Yep, this is us at the conference. Um, yeah. I'm super excited to meet him though. Even though I feel like he's gone through, the industry thing. And here's the thing, I actually didn't even he has a rapper on his chest. Oh, maybe he taught at MIT, not at Harvard. Okay. They have the same color. Um, but the thing is, I think that I wasn't mad at him when he lost some of the edge because I already know the industry. I already know that there's different reasons why people change their art and do different things. And so I felt it wasn't him losing the edge, but maybe that the industry was kind of forcing him to lose the edge a little bit. He had gotten so big, and then sometimes the industry is they want safe. They have these business guys from all these other industries, and they're like, oh, just make it safe, make it safe hip hop, and we'll give you, we'll actually pay you money. We'll put your album out and you'll survive on the thing that you have wanted to do for so long and that you've been doing. So yeah, this song makes me very, very hopeful that he is on the way back to maybe a little more of the edgy person that I, have loved as an artist. I'll also say he's getting older too. We're all getting older. And sometimes you lose that inhibition to be something other people want you to be. And the other thing is kind of like with Kanye West, by the way, it's like maybe his surroundings are different and he's not experiencing the same things he's experiencing. Maybe he's not around the same people he used to be around. And so maybe that's why his music has changed too. There's just so many reasons. But that was really, really showing a lot of talent and that lyricism and skill that we have loved so much from him. So I'm really, really hopeful. I'm hopeful. I'm always hopeful. And I always believe, and I've said this before, let artists go off and do what they want to do. And then maybe they'll return back to whatever the thing is that you miss of theirs. That's like a little emotional. So yeah. Oh, you said he definitely has returned to form since then. Infinite Tech. Oh my goodness. You said Lasers was a huge departure from Food and Liquor and the Cool. Exactly, Infinite Tech. Bills have to be paid, Rev. Yes, exactly that. You know. Oh my goodness. But Drake got eviscerated 2 years ago. That is true too. Kendrick is a little different. Kendrick's built a little different. Like especially now, he's on his own label. He can do whatever he wants to do too. So to be honest, you can get an interview with him. He be on Random People's podcast. Okay, crew. Hey, team. If y'all got ideas for people y'all want me to interview, y'all think I can get them? Oh my goodness, y'all like the interview I did for that indie artist that we had on here. So absolutely, I would love that. I would love that. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Let me know what y'all think is possible. I can, make some things happen. I still am connected with people in the industry, even though I've taken a little bit of a hiatus. I'm, still connected and can get to different people if you really believe like they want to, be with us, not like it's not us, like we're cool people, like, you know what I'm saying? But, sometimes people want really big, numbers and things like that. We're on our way though. We're moving on up. We're literally celebrating our 3,000 as well. And I'm like, what else? In for him to do that show with 100 people, he had to have known that the turnout was going to be similar to what that was. And it's dope that he came out there, did that show and did that thing. So yeah, I believe he's gonna make it back. I mean, especially for him to have written that stuff in the first place. It's in him. that fire is in him. And we're so excited to have it back as well. You know, A Ray. I love that. Absolutely. Just don't mention Kendrick too much. Oh, wait, are they not cool with each other? Because I wouldn't plan on doing that anyway. I would do my research. I would do my research. But I wouldn't have a reason to bring up Kendrick, you know? But yeah, thank you so much, Infinite Tech, for suggesting this song. Um, Super excited, especially if you hear a new Lupe album comes out. We're doing a full reaction. Absolutely. Not even a hesitation. Full excitement. Absolutely. Oh, he's independent now. Amazing. Amazing, amazing. Amazing, amazing. Very, very good. And maybe that's also why we're going to get some of that Lupe back.